This is the flip through for Shadow and Light, Values, and Archetypes, our newest deck, just coming out this week. And you may have already seen a little preview to it in one of our readings earlier this month. The physical deck just published on the Game Crafter in 2 sizes, and we'll get to those in just a second. The guidebook is sold separately and already on Amazon, and it has a lot of really good information about this lighter approach to shadow work at the beginning of the book. I really didn't want this to be just a guidebook. I also wanted it to be a standalone guide for doing this kind of work safely. So it's got some charts and some activities for self-assessment, an image index for all the archetypes and their values, full-sized artwork with beautifully detailed black and white images for every card, all of the messages, and even a few spreads at the end. Now, the pocket-sized deck comes in this cute little mint tin, so it's easy to take with you anywhere, and it is really great for bigger spreads that take up more space. It does come with a little guide card, and even though the print is small, it is still really useful for putting the deck back in its original order, and it's got just a little bit of instruction. For me, this mini deck is really easy to shuffle. It might be a little bit of a challenge if you've got larger hands, but it really is doable with a little bit of practice. The artwork and the text on the cards is still big enough to be totally legible, and all the artwork for both decks is identical, but as you can see, there is a significant difference in size, and this larger deck really does give such a gorgeous close-up view. So it's perfect for picking a card a day or for smaller spreads with only a few cards in play. And this is the one we're going to use for the flip through. So we'll shuffle when we get done going through each card. The deck does start with representations for the 5 primary aspects of the psyche, but I usually don't like to worry about the order of the cards when I'm using this deck. Its primary purpose is for you to put the cards in order according to what you value most, how they relate to something that you're working on right now, or just to go through them to feel for the archetypes that are speaking to you most clearly as you randomize your self-study practice. I did create this deck myself, but I used AI to help generate the images. I wasn't sure how I felt about that at first. I have some mixed feelings about using AI for content creation, but I certainly don't have the artistic skills to draw these images by hand, and I had a really clear vision in my head for each one of these characters, and I wanted every archetype to really convey an emotional aspect that related to its value. And I will tell you that an incredible amount of time went into editing every single image. There are literally hundreds of layers to some of these cards with so many generations and edits to get it just right, but it was totally worth it. I absolutely love the way that it turned out. As far as card thickness and shuffling goes with this larger size deck, it's always a stretch for me. It's a little larger than standard Oracle size, and I do have smaller hands, so I usually end up shuffling it sideways because that's a little easier for me, but I can still manage the riffle shuffle, and you can always just use this hand over hand shuffling technique. The Game Crafter does a great job with the finish and card thickness. The flex is perfect for me. We are going to pick just one card for fun, and we've got the Healer. And we're going to look it up real quick in the guidebook. I just want to go back to the image index where you can also find the page numbers to easily reference every message. And this one is on page 123. And as you can see here just below the image, there are a few keywords, and I'm just going to read the message for this one real quick. The healer is a sub-archetype of the caregiver that puts its primary focus on your health and well-being. It represents the cure for emotional and spiritual maladies, but it will also relate to your physical health. Our bodies are miraculous machines that can be taken for granted when we're feeling good. And since we don't get any promises on how long good health will last, now is always the time to take care of them. The energy that you generate with your body has a profound impact on your mind and vice versa when considering your overall sense of wellness. That energy will spill out to others in every area of your experience, very intentionally if you're in a healing profession, but at some point you can only draw from the well what you've already got. Taking care of yourself can be even more important when it comes to the more magical aspects of every healing process. Make space to renew and maintain your emotional and spiritual wellness. That's how the healer makes its magic. So there you go. This larger size deck doesn't come in a box. I usually keep them in a little wooden box on my desk, and if I want to take them with me, I've got a little velvet pouch for them, but that is why it's convenient to have them in both sizes. This deck is also coming out on the Deckible app literally within the next couple of days, and it is absolutely gorgeous in digital form. No matter which version you choose, I think you're going to love this deck. All of the images are just meticulously detailed. It's such a beautiful and useful addition to any card deck collection.